Hi everyone, it's Mike here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So it's time for another Mission Inspiration app prompt over on the Mission Inspiration Facebook group. So let me turn over to my overhead camera. I'll show you the prompt for week 33 and then I'll go through what I'm going to do based on the prompt. So the prompt for today is growth. So it's embrace the journey of becoming, where each experience nurtures your evolution. Like a tree reaching toward the sky, let your roots deepen and your branches expand. Navigate with patience, for growth is a gradual unfolding of potential. And celebrate the process, where every challenge and triumph contributes to the blossoming of your true self. Excellent stuff. So I've already stuck the prompt down onto the page that is going to be where I stick my art journal page for today. So I've already cut a piece of cardstock ready to work on. So what that means is I can put that to one side so there's no fear of getting any mess or schmutz or anything on it while I'm working. So to start off with then, I'm going to use some clear gesso and I'm just going to go over the page just to give it a little bit of protection, if you like, but a little bit of tooth, because I'm going to be doing something a bit different today, something I've not done for quite a while. I'm going to be using a medium on my page that's been sitting in a box on my shelf for months and months and months. But you get the best out of the product if you pre-gesso or seal your page first, because what that's going to allow it to do is to just sit momentarily on the surface before it dries, and then you can blend and smooth and smudge with your fingers before it sets. So just a quick once over with the clear gesso. I think that's going to be enough. What have I done with my water pot? I had a little bit of a tidy earlier and I've moved things around and nothing's within reach anymore, which is useless. There we go. Right, so let me get this dried off and then I'll be right back. So the page with the gesso is dry. So what I've done is I've just taped it down onto my mat just to help it, because it did buckle a little bit. So I'm just going to plan out where I want things to go. So this is the roll of the stencil tape that I used just to stick everything down. So what I want to do is I'm just going to draw a real light line around there, just because I want a kind of circular halo effect. That'll do. You probably can't even see it. And then I'm going to draw a line down the middle, just very, very lightly, like so. And then from that, I'm just going to draw in a couple of leaf shapes. Just roughly by hand. And then at the top of here, I'm going to just kind of draw a whimsical sort of flower, because the art journal page today is all about growth. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to go a bit kind of whimsical, a bit kind of abstract-y, but that's kind of like going to be the basic structure of the page. So the mediums I was talking about: Faber Castell Pitt pens. So these are, if you're not familiar with them already, these are India ink, which basically means that they are smudgeable, rubbable, whatever, until they dry, and then once they're dry, they are permanent. So what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to get really messy today. My fingers are going to look an absolute mess by the time we're done. But this is what's going to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start coming in with the Pitt pens, and then immediately I'm going to start smudging and rubbing with my finger around the page. And because we've taped off, it doesn't matter. And we can leave them as they are, come back in, keep building up and blending as much as we want. I'm going to get some darker colours just because, and like I said, we can blend, we can smudge, we can add, and we can just go around the page, basically just creating a mess. And that's exactly put it on the wrong one. That's exactly what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to go around the page, just grabbing kind of like different colours. Now some of these pens are quite old, so I'm not even sure. See that one's, look, it's just, the plastic's actually just breaking away. They're really brittle, so they've broken down. So you can actually tell how old these pens are. But look, they still work, which is cool. So wherever we go, we can just add random blocks of colour. So most of these pen lids are actually breaking down now. And make it as scrabbly. Even that one started to degrade, look. I have to say, these are probably somewhere in the region of about 8 to 9 years old, so I'm not surprised that they've started to break down or dry up, for that matter, like this one. These are different size pens. These are the larger big brush, and these are the normal standard artist pens. I think the artist pens are still available, Pitt pens, but the big brush, I think they've retired. I believe. I may be wrong. And if I am giving you false information, I do apologise. I should really have done a little bit of research on this before I started, shouldn't I? I love these big brush pens, which is quite expensive as far as pens go. And I am kind of using a kind of cool colour palette. So a little bit dark there. Let's have some greens in there as well. Seeing as we're doing growth, let's have a bit of green. Yeah, these were one of my favourite mediums to use back in the day. And then, like I said, they kind of like went out of favour. I don't know why. I still love them. Back in the day, I spent a lot of money on them. Let's just bring in some of that green colour there, and we'll just kind of smudge it out. We know where our leaves are, that's fine. And then we've got darker colours that we can use. Let's get some of that blue in there. Look, they're just all falling to pieces. I'm just looking for other kind of shades of blue just to kind of fill in. That one's probably a bit too light. Let's come back in with that dark blue there. See the way I mean about you can just kind of like rub and blend and then layer and add. And then you can come back in. Those lids are just completely degrading with different shades of green. Sorry, I'm using the wrong finger again, aren't I? I always do that. I always end up using this one for some strange reason, and it looks a bit rude when you're viewing it on the camera. And that light blue up there. The beauty with these kind of things is you can be as messy as you want. Right, so let's come in now with some lighter colours. So I'm going to start off bringing in some yellows. Different kind of sort of yellows. Dirty fingers already, so I should really wash my fingers before I start contaminating too much. But I'm also going to start bringing in some oranges as well now. So we're going from the cool kind of shades to that kind of warmer kind of bit. Let's use some of that kind of limey, yellowy green there. I'm kind of breaking it apart a little bit, segmenting it. I really ought to clean my finger. Let me just grab, see if I can get rid of some of this schmutz on my finger, and we can start with a bit more cleanliness. So we're not contaminating the colours. There we go. Just clean my fingers. You could, if you wanted to, use Q-tips, cotton buds. Oh, look at that. instead of your fingers if you have a horror of getting your hands and fingers dirty. But what fun! And that is what it's all about. It's fun. The whole process is about fun, having fun. Come back in with some of that yellow. Because these are old now, I don't really mind if they kind of cross-contaminate a little bit. Ooh, that really is dirty in my finger. So let's see if we can get a really bright yellow back in there. Use a clean finger this time. It's almost apple-like, isn't it? I love the way you can just kind of come in with the colours. Add, take away. Perhaps that would have been a good idea to start off with, wouldn't it? Having a bit of a wet wipe here, I can just wipe my fingers with. And then that just makes it a bit easier just to blend out a little bit. Let's have a bit of a darker green in there. Almost like a rosy apple. Like it. All right, so that is the basis, or the basic. So let's come in now with a nice stronger colour. Colour in those petals. Right, so while that's still there, I'm going to come in with a few of those just different kind of shades. Just go over the tops. Like so. And then we can just blend in and blend out. Just that darker colours. apologise if I'm not talking. It's only because I'm concentrating on what I'm doing. Okay, I think I'm actually kind of happy with the basic structure of that page now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a little bit of time just to settle, just to dry as it is. So I'm going to put these pens away and then try and find all the lids that's supposed to go on which pens. Like I said, some of them are broken off. They're definitely coming to the end of their useful life, but I'm loath to throw them away because I just love them so much. Okay, I'll be back in a second or two. Okay, so I've got a couple of other pens now. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to come in now and start adding in some kind of basic detail for the page. So like I said, I don't want it to be perfect. So I was just basically laying kind of the foundations down to start off with, and then build up an outline just to give it a bit more definition once we've got those colours down and in place. It just helps to kind of reinforce everything, but like I said, it doesn't matter if you're a little bit over. So this is a black Posca paint pen. And then what we can start to do is just because we can have a bit of fun. Ooh, big blob there, look, that's great. I'm liking that. And then we can come in and start adding doodling. And then come back in with that black. And we can start to add dots, doodle dots around the page. Just to kind of fill up the void, have a bit of fun. And then why not come in with some white. have a bit of fun with it that way. Now I know that's still very, very wet. I've got bigger white acrylic. Ooh, some real big white ones. And then maybe like it. Let me have a quick wipe up, tidy up, clean up, dry off, and all that stuff, and then I'll be back. Alright, so I've just cut out my little quote and phrase for the page, and I'm just going to grab ink blending foam, bit of distressing, and then I'm just going to go around just to kind of accentuate that border a little bit. Now I did think about writing and doing my own handwriting on the page, but I didn't want to spoil it because I probably would make a complete mess of it, knowing me. So instead I opted to print out the quote using my own handwriting font that I created a couple of years ago, because I knew I couldn't trust myself when it came to writing on art journal pages. So I went on one of these websites where you can create your own, let's take my fingers, you can create your own font. So I downloaded the necessary templates and created a font of my own handwriting. Well, I say stylized handwriting for just such a use. Right. Where's all that black come from all of a sudden? Right, so glue stick. So I shall just get some scratch paper somewhere. No, I tell you what, I'll just use that. So we'll just go, I'll just wipe off the mat once I'm done. Tweezers. There we go. So that's going there. And then this one is going to go just there, just to balance that out. So the quote reads, if you can't see it, change is inevitable, growth is optional. So let's just quickly wipe everything up, get rid of that glue, and then I'll release the stencil tape and then we'll be ready to stick it into our journal or onto our journal page. I'm back in a moment. All right, so I've released the page from the tape. As you can see, it's also created a rather nice white border all the way around the page. So I'm just going to flip that over, get some glue. Oh, don't tell me that's blocked up. Why does it always form like a bit of a plug? There we go, that's better. So this is just rather thick craft glue, PVA, indigo blue, grab and go. It's exactly what it does. It grabs quite quickly, which is just perfect for what you want. As long as you remember to clean the nozzle afterwards, because otherwise it creates a plug. There we go. So I'll turn that over, and then that can go onto there. And I cut the piece of card just slightly shy of where I normally do, so that I could have a little bit of a border around the page. So we've got a border on the page, a white border, and then you've got the black border with that doodling. There we go. So there is my art journal page for week 33 of the Mission Inspiration. So that is the URL for the Facebook group on the screen right now. I forgot what I was going to say then. There will be a clickable link in the description area below the video if you're watching this on my blog. So yes, so please do give the video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed watching it. You can share the video with your friends. Also, don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. That's all from me for now. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. And don't forget, you can access your exclusive angel-only content over on my website. There's a link in the description area below. Thank you.